You're too poor and you have absolutely no ambition. That's the venom my wife spat out at the high society gala, her eyes alight with contempt as she shamelessly flirted with her CEO boss in front of every power player in the room. But watching her dismiss me, I felt a chilling shift. A quiet resolve settled in my heart. I would show her exactly what true, surgical ambition looked like. She thought I was just the quiet guy who handled the taxes, but she failed to see the danger. As I left the party, drenched and silent in the cold rain, I gave my heavy umbrella to a shivering old valet. It was a subtle act, an investment she couldn't understand. She came home later, smelling of wine and corporate entitlement. She had no idea she was about to face the most dangerous man in the room, the one she had so arrogantly ignored. The next morning, her focus was on a critical, career-defining presentation. This could change everything, she gloated, unaware of the irony. When I drove her to the office, we walked into the sleek lobby, and she suddenly froze. Standing under the massive chandelier was the valet, now impeccably dressed in a custom suit that cost more than her annual bonus. He looked right at me, not her, and gave a sharp, respectful nod. Her high heel stopped clicking. "Who is that?" she whispered, a crack of pure fear entering her voice. I just offered her a calm smile, said, "Have a good day," and walked away, leaving her stranded in her own disbelief. The subtle sabotage began instantly. Her crucial meetings were abruptly postponed, then canceled. She overheard frantic whispers in the hallways. "He's the founder's nephew," the last link to the Remand Trust. She finally realized that the man she thought was merely a background figure was actually a secret power player in the company's foundation. She confronted me. "You let me make a fool of myself." I corrected her with surgical precision. "No, you accomplished that entirely on your own. I was simply waiting for the moment you were finally forced to see me." The ultimate humiliation arrived at a crucial business dinner, her event. She showed up ready to conquer, only for the maitre d' to tell her she wasn't on the list. Then, she watched as I walked past, flanked by senior executives, greeted warmly as Mr. Carter. I had taken her seat at the table. When she called, furious, I was sipping champagne. "You introduced me as your +1 at the gala," I reminded her. "I just corrected the RSVP." The end was swift and absolute. She walked into the office the next day, and her custom desk was gone, replaced by a cheap, meaningless potted plant. She was summoned to the advisory office, where I was waiting with the man from the ring. They presented a damning, fully documented file detailing her misconduct and ethical lapses. My revenge wasn't a shouting match. It was a paper trail. "I didn't destroy you," I told her. "You did that to yourself. I merely held up a mirror." She later discovered that the specific executive conduct clause that now stripped her of her severance and stock options was drafted back in 2014 by D. Carter, me. I knew the pattern of ambitious corporate climbers before I even met her. She lost everything: her high-ranking job, her financial security, and eventually, the respect of her own family, who had received my own quiet, years-long support. The very last time she saw me, she was standing alone on the curb with a soggy cardboard box, rain pouring down. I was across the street under a wide umbrella, talking calmly with the old valet. We looked at her, two men who had patiently played the long game, and then we simply nodded and turned away. She thought she married a quiet man. She actually married the architect of the world she tried to conquer, and he rebuilt it without her. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel today.